Hello friends and welcome back to my channel Teacher Sneha. Today's video is going to be little different because in this video I'm not going to actually teach you any math concept, but I am going to give you few tips to get better marks in your exam. And who doesn't want that? And apart from that, I'm sure you are watching my videos to revise your math concepts, because for most of my viewers and subscribers now their exams are round the corner and I'm sure that they want to get good marks in their exams. So my videos are going to help you to prepare for your exams. But there are few things that apart from learning we have to do, that to plan our studies and how to get into that to get better marks than what we are actually getting right now, is what this video is going to talk about. Do share this video of mine with that friend of yours who's all panicking about his exam. Because in this video I'm going to share the secrets that I used to use when I was a student for my exam preparations. So your exam preparations have to be actually divided into 3 stages. So the first stage is planning, second stage is to prepare, and third stage is to bring about perfection. So it's plan, prepare and perfect. The first and the most important stage in our exam preparation is to plan. Planning is very essential if we want to achieve better results. So what exactly do I mean by planning? Most of you have already started to prepare for your exam and you all are studying, revising your notes, solving worksheets, you all are into it. But when I say planning, means first thing what you do is from now, from wherever you are going to watch my video, from there you count how many days are there for your exam. After that you count how many subjects you have to study, because of course over here on my channel I talk about mostly math concepts, but I know apart from math you have math, sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, history, geography and a lot of other subjects to study. So count how many days you have for your exam, how many subjects you have, and then count in each subject how many topics you have. After you count all that, next thing that what you have to do is you have to see in an entire day how many hours would you study, because it's not that 24 hours you're going to do studies. There are going to be time which you need for your school, there are going to be some time that you need for your family, sometime you need for playing also, for friends also. So apart from excluding all these times, you calculate how much time you're going to dedicate to your studies. So your time multiplied by your number of days in your hand and your subject multiplied by the topics. See, again some math came over here, but yes, that much math applications are everywhere into our daily life. So after you count that, give equal amount of time to all your subjects and all your topics, so that you do justice with all the subjects. Because usually what happens is, in a fear that for a particular subject that you have, supposedly if I don't like physics, or if I don't like biology, or if I don't like math, I don't like history, the subject that I don't like, usually children tend to do a lot of focus only on that subject, and then in that bargain they miss out on the time which they should give it to other subjects as well. Your exams are not going to be only of the subject that you don't like, your exams are also going to be of the other subjects. So plan your days in such a way that no matter whether that subject is your favorite subject or that subject is your not your favorite subject, you make sure that you give equal time to each of the subject. That is what is important in planning. After you have planned your studies, the next and the most important thing which everybody tells you to do but you always procrastinate is to prepare your study timetable. I'm actually telling you, this works. This worked with me as well. Earlier even I used to think when I was a student that what to make timetable for, yaar, and why we need to make timetable. But no, it's not like that. If you have planned your studies like accordingly, like Monday I want to study this subject, Tuesday I want to study this subject. So when you make a plan like that, after that you make a nice timetable in your handwriting, that okay, this is how I want to study further and this is how I want to prepare for my exam. Make that timetable, stick that timetable somewhere onto your study table or into any room that you prefer for your studying. Keep that timetable over there, and most importantly, follow that timetable very religiously. Definitely, I'm telling you, this works. Okay, now some personalized tips, that when I was a student, what I did to manage my studies for my exams. So basically, it's the same till planning and making the timetable, putting that timetable up on your study table. Till there, I followed all the steps. But there was one special tip that I used to do when I was a student, is that I always did a reverse planning. Now, what do you mean by reverse planning? So usually when children plan for their exam, they divide their study time in such a way that they see what is their first paper in their exam. So if the first paper is science, they will start planning and preparing only for science, okay? And then the rest of the subjects will be a little bit lagging behind. So when I was a student, what I did was, suppose if my first subject exam is science, I never studied science first. I always gave my first time of the preparation, I allocated that time to the papers that are there after sciences. So, and what happened because of that is that I am doing studies of the subjects which are after sciences. So it's not that only the first paper that I'm studying. Usually in that bargain, what happens is the first subject gets the preference and then the other subjects are little left out. So to make sure that not to happen, what I did was, if my exams ending with a subject of history, humanities, geography, or any of the subjects that I used to study much in advance, then going in a reverse or a backward way flow of timetable, I used to plan my mid exams will be my mid preparation. And suppose if my first exam is mathematics or my first exam is science or English, then just before the 3-4 days of the exam, I would start studying for maths, science, or whichever is the first paper. So in that bargain, what happened is, the exams that are coming afterwards, I have already given them and dedicated them enough time. And then after that, when you go for actual your exam starts, you hardly get any 1 or 2 days left. So if you have studied whole sciences only in your planning preparation, then what would have happened? The other subjects that are coming after sciences would technically get only 1 or 2 days of preparation. But then in reverse planning technique, what happens is, since you have studied that topics earlier, just to revising it up or just to take up a few notes would definitely help you at the actual time of your exams. So always plan your studies in a reverse direction of your exam timetable. This is what I used to do when I was a student. So that's my personalized tip. Second tip that I did was, we all have a favorite subject. Not to be biased over here, we as a teacher, we always say that no, we love all subjects, and yes, but come on, when we were a student, we always had that favorism for one subject. So whichever is your favorite subject, no, you don't plan any separate days for that subject to study. Suppose subject A is my favorite subject. I'm not going to be talking about one particular subject over here, because I have to be unbiased with all the subjects, because I know my viewers are going to have their different subject preferences. So suppose A subject is my favorite subject, and subject B and subject C are not that favorite subjects of mine. So whenever I'm studying subject B and C, there's of course going to be little stress on my brain, because I am studying something which I usually don't like to study. So then in that case, what I did was, after studying subject B or subject C, after my mind is little saturated, I would spend some half an hour, 45 minutes studying my favorite subject. So what happens in that way is you are studying the subject that is not your preference as well. At the same time, to refresh your mind, you are studying the subject that is of your choice. So you're balancing your time here. At the same time, you're refreshing your mind as well, and at the same time, your exams, you're getting prepared for your exams as well. So please make sure that try this. It works. It had worked for me. So the second stage of our exam preparation is to practice. Now what happens is, just before your exam, always this happens that from school you get a lot of practice material. You get worksheets, you get assignments, and you get some quiz links. So a lot of things you get as your practice material. Usually what I have seen this pattern and tendency in the students is that they take this practice material very lightly. They just look at the material and then they browse through this and say, okay, this topic easy, I will manage. Okay, this worksheet very easy, I will manage. Oh, diagram labeling, okay, I'll just look at the diagram. Okay, fine, now I know, this labeling I know. So they just superficially study and they don't really practice. So my advice to you all student is that if you get any practice material, please take it very religiously and practice very sincerely. If you have got worksheets in maths, if you have got labeling of diagram in sciences, if you have got some maps in your history or geography, please study them thoroughly, practice them thoroughly, and make sure that you actually solve it rather than just looking at it and saying that okay, this I will manage, this I will manage. Because what happens at the time of exam is you are into that exam mode, you are into that exam stress, and under that stress, whatever you have thought that okay, I will be able to manage, sometimes you tend to forget, and then lack of practice could result into loss of few marks. So I'm sure that nobody wants to lose on the marks, because our always aim is to achieve better grades, achieve better marks. So in that case, I would give you the advice, second stage of our exam preparation is to practice, and please take all your practice material very seriously and do practice regularly. Maintaining a consistency in your practice is very important. ऐसे ही नहीं कहते हैं practice makes the man perfect. The last stage of our exam preparation is to bring about perfection. This is the most important stage in the exam preparation, but the most ignored step. Now why I'm calling that as an ignored step is, usually what happens is, after your practice material is given to you, after the assignments are given to you, your teachers give you feedback usually, and after that they give an exemplar essay or exemplar graph or an answer key to you to match your answers with. Usually what children see is, they see what mistake they did as per the exemplar essay or exemplar graph or any exemplar answer key that is given to you, but then they don't bring about that perfection, or they don't tend to go close to their writing into that exemplar style answers. So what you are doing is, you are just identifying your mistakes. You are not working on those mistakes and making them perfect. So if this stage is lagging, then again what will happen is, you know where you went wrong, but you didn't improve that. So don't be doing that mistake. What you do is, if you got an exemplar answer that okay, my answer should be like this, the answer should have these many keywords into it, or my graph should be like this, my graph should look like this is how I have to plot, draw, the neatness that I have to bring. So make sure that even you bring out that perfection into your answer. You bring out those keywords into your answer. You plot those graphs, draw those maps exactly like what it is given in the exemplar, and then practice and continue to do that work, which is, a sample exemplar work that is given to you. If you bring about that perfection in your work, nothing can stop you from that perfect 100 or a perfect A star. So hope you find this video very helpful for your preparations of the exams, and I'm sure you will use the tips that I have shared with you to plan and practice and bring about the perfection for your exam. And I'm sure now, after watching this video, you're feeling very much relaxed. That anxiety for the exam, I hope my video is helping you to reduce that at least a little bit. So keep practicing, keep preparing for your exams. Wish you all the very best. Until then, your teacher Sneha signing out.